don't understand why you're 40 years old playing the game still. So.
Well, I mean, what game do you think you're going to be playing when you're 40? When do you think you're going to stop playing games? What's the age? What's the cutoff age?
When you're out of high school and college.
You're a high school kid?
Yeah, I'm in high school. Yeah.
How old are you?
Why does it matter?
Well, I mean, you foresee yourself in the future quitting something you love, like video games? Do you not love video games? You just cruise through it.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of a waste of time when you're that old. But
well, how do you know? You're not old yet. I mean, I can think of probably reasons that video games would be a waste of time for a high school kid, too. Do you have a 4.0? Are you in honor classes to get more than a 4.0?
No, but...
You know what I'm saying? There's more things you could be doing to improve your life than playing video games, too, right?
Yeah, you can study and not play games.
Hey, just recreation, man. Having fun. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right, then.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Honey Badger Arcade. This is Melee May, where I'm going to be playing fighting games, and there are just so many fighting games, man. But today we're going to be looking at Samurai Shodown. Technically, I think it's Samurai Shodown 7 in the series, or the 7th entry, but it's just called Samurai Shodown. And it's actually like, Samurai Shodown is interesting because it was SNK's first real big win in the arcades when competing against Capcom. So when it came to the fighting games, they just blew up in like the late 80s and 90s. But mostly in the 90s. They blew up because of Street Fighter 2. And there were other games that have attempted to compete but failed. For example, Pit Fighter was one, which was a massive failure, and really just kind of an ugly game. And Mortal Kombat is still around, despite it being, in my opinion, genuinely inferior to Street Fighter, but it had the gimmick of fatalities and the sort of digitized, realistic, or not realistic, but like they took real people and digitized them for the game, which is sort of like an easy way to like, design characters, I guess. You just have a person dress up and then you photograph them. But SNK was trying to sell their console, the Neo Geo, and at the time, you had like Street Fighter 2 was on everybody's lips. Everybody was playing it. It was packing the arcades. It created the genre of fighting games. Before that, they didn't call fighting games. What little there was, they were just classified under the action category, action game. I remember, I think it was Electronic Gaming Monthly. It was a magazine I used to buy to show how old I am. And when Street Fighter 2 was like really big in arcades, everybody was talking about, they did like I think it was a review or a spot on it. And when they did the classification of the game, it said type action or genre action. So fighting games didn't exist before Street Fighter. And what SNK was able to do, basically, the best they had at the time was a game called Fatal Fury. And Fatal Fury was essentially the Street Fighter 1 of the Fatal Fury franchise. Whereas in Street Fighter 1, which was not, it was like it was a kind of a decently popular game when it came out, but it had a lot of flaws. It was really janky and the controls weren't very good. But it didn't matter. People, spent money on it. I remember I had a friend of mine who bought the TurboGrafx CD because Street Fighter was on it, and he was like committed to like playing it. And the original Street Fighter was, basically if you can get a special move off, it was like a miracle. But it was also extremely powerful. So it was like, you were meant to not play the game using specials, the original, but they would tell you if you could pull this off, then it'll give you a massive advantage. But you could literally beat the game without any specials. You just had to like pay attention to the patterns. Anyway, SNK did something similar with the original Fatal Fury. And the problem though is that by the time they made their Fatal Fury, we already had a Street Fighter 2. So Fatal Fury didn't really stand a chance, although it was like, it did okay considering that it was sort of like an alternative. Like, oh, I can play this and it has like different characters. you know. But at the time, in the original Fatal Fury, you could only pick 3 characters. You could pick Joe, Higashi, Andy Bogard, or Terry Bogard. And it wasn't until Fatal Fury 2 that they basically like went down the route of being more like a Street Fighter game. But even then, they couldn't keep up with everything that Capcom was putting out. They were always like a couple steps behind. So then they come out with another game called World Heroes. And World Heroes, they thought was going to do better. And World Heroes was probably a worse ripoff than the game that Capcom actually tried to sue over, called Fighter's History, which Fighter's History was definitely a Street Fighter ripoff, but I think World Heroes was way more spot on than Fighter's History was. And for some reason, World Heroes didn't get the same grief as Fighter's History. But World Heroes also just wasn't that good. It just did not stand up, you know? So what ended up happening was eventually some people who used to work at Capcom, I believe, and I'll ask the AI here to confirm, but I think some of the people who used to work over at Capcom worked at SNK, and they developed a game that was a fighting game that was basically in a league of its own that stood apart from the others, and that was Samurai Shodown. And it was effectively the first fighting game with weapons as like a primary feature, and it was specifically featured, you know, for the most part, characters from feudal Japan, so like samurai and ninja, and there was also some characters that were sort of like foreigners that weren't there. And it had featured things like, you know, weapon clashes and disarming, and it has a completely different fighting system than most other fighting games. And unfortunately, even though Samurai Shodown was massive, it came out and it was on the map, and it was basically like the top played game until Darkstalkers came out. And so Capcom kind of like got, you know, they still managed to like hop just a little bit ahead of SNK. Lately, they've been closer, but Capcom mostly has been making some errors in some of their decisions to stay ahead. But then SNK seems to be falling into some similar traps. But we're going to be looking at the 7th entry in the series, Samurai Shodown, simply just titled Samurai Shodown.
Samurai Shodown.
All right. So let's see who is in here watching. This is Samurai Shodown on PlayStation 4. If anybody has it, certainly play together if that is of interest to you. But I want to show you a little bit about what makes Samurai Shodown different from other fighting games, because this is the thing that I think gives it the most appeal. So we'll go into practice mode. He didn't have to go full BLM, full Yasuke on the shrine, yeah. And I'll show you in the training mode. So Samurai Shodown is actually kind of interesting because it is arrest this vandal. Oh yeah, there's like, you can do the retro costume, retro 3D from, I guess it was like it was a 3D Samurai Shodown that did not do well, because when SNK first got into doing 3D fighting games, they were not good. I mean, they were still, yeah, they weren't good. They were, even like the Street Fighter EX games were better. But anyway, so you can pick your color. I'll just go with the standard one. Okay, and I'll show you some things about this. This is just me in practice mode. All right, and we'll do it in the dojo. So Okay, so most fighting games, especially like modern ones, they have a big focus on trying to create openings so that you can perform combos. And a lot of the later ones, they kind of pride themselves on long combos, right? Let me know if everything sounds okay. Looks like this is pretty good. Okay. So how is this one different? Well, what I think is interesting about Samurai Shodown is it actually does not make combos a big feature. There are combos that exist, but they're relatively short. They're more like specials that cancel, or I'm sorry, normals that cancel into specials. But it's not something that you're going to be relying on very much. What Samurai Shodown does different is that there is a risk-reward system in creating openings so that you can do big damage, because the characters in this game do a lot of damage, especially with heavier attacks. So it has a primary focus on how you use your normals as opposed to how do you create openings for combos, okay? And yes, the spacing is everything. So every character in the game has a, they have a light attack, crouching light attack, jumping light attack, and it doesn't matter what direction, it's the same. Middle attack, or a medium attack, jumping medium attack, and a crouching medium attack. And then they have a heavy attack, and a jumping heavy attack, and a crouching heavy, okay? There's also a backdash, which has iframes right at the beginning, and also 4 characters that have jumping specials. This counts as being in the air. So if you do a backdash and if you're quick enough, you can do a special while the backdash is going on, and it counts as it'll actually it'll take the input, right? Now Haomaru, I don't think he has any air specials, so I can't like give you an example of that. But Ukyo does. And so like if you do a backdash, you can backdash into a special and it will come out if you're good enough and quick enough at it. And that could be useful for, because like essentially Samurai Shodown is different because it's about like mind games. And this is like what you're doing is you're trying to like, anticipate your opponent's moves, because the cost of being predictable is massive amounts of damage. And this is what I think is really unique and what makes Samurai Shodown special compared to other fighting games, is that the openings can be really, lead to disastrous consequences, okay? Okay, so you have your 3 slashes, light, medium, and heavy. And then you have a kick button, which kick is not the strongest attack, but the thing about the kick that's cool is that it has its own properties are a little bit like different from others. So, for example, one mechanic in the game is called the deflect, the parry. That's this right here. And you can deflect another person's attacks. Let me see if I can get Ukyo to action. We'll do a attack here. Let's see. Well, we'll just do CPU level 1, okay? All right. So you see he's trying to attack. Is he gonna attack? Come on. See there, right there. So because he counterattacked me when I did the parry, it like creates a wide opening, okay? So if I do that again, let me see if he does this again. I don't know if he's gonna do it, so. But yeah, but he's not very aggressive because I have him. That will. I don't know if that worked, but if you do like a heavy slash right after, you can like that. So you can create openings with the parry attack. Let me see. Back to banding. All right. Gonna reset it. Oh yeah, the way they do this is if I press the middle. Okay. So there is a the kick is what makes the kick unique is that you can't parry it. So like other attacks you can, but the kicks you can't. And there are characters that have counter attacks, and the kick will like, you know, effectively not be affected by the counter attacks. Okay. And yeah, if you parry like a light attack or a light slash or medium slash, you create an opening so you can attack, counter attack. But if you parry a heavy slash, you actually knock the sword out of their hand, you disarm them. And you don't want to be disarmed in Samurai Shodown. It puts you in a really bad position. There are some characters that can still use their attacks, and they're not changed as much. Primarily the ninja characters, Galford and Hattori Hanzo. And there's even like a pirate character that gets another special move when she doesn't have a weapon. But overall, you are basically more vulnerable if you don't have your sword or whatever your weapon is. So you have that, and then you have some other mechanics that are kind of interesting some people don't know. So I mentioned that the backdash acts like a jump. The dodge is like used to avoid attacks, and if you do a quarter circle forward and dodge, you'll do the parry. Okay, and you can also let me see. There's a mechanic in here called Just Defense, and it essentially is like sort of like the Street Fighter 3 parry, in that if you block, which you hold back to block or down back to block low, if you block just before the attack hits, then you'll see like a blue spark and you'll get a little bit of your rage meter. And that's a good thing, but you can also, if you do a Just Defense, you can also do a kind of alpha counter where you push the other enemy away. It doesn't do damage, but it creates distance between you and the enemy, because some characters, they have like, you know, attacks that will be really good for rushing you down. So let's say you want to keep them a distance because you're playing a zoner character or something, then this is a good way to keep them off you when they're rushing you down. But basically the thing that makes Samurai Shodown unique to other fighting games is that it isn't based in how well you can execute long running combos and then like finish off with a flashy super. It's all about, you know, anticipating what your opponent's gonna do, risk and reward, because like if I do a small attack here, there's not a lot of risk to it, okay? So let me show you. I'll have the Ukyo guard, okay? So see, there's not a lot of risk there. You can see by when Haomaru's sword hits, he kind of like has this recoil, right? If I hit with a medium attack, the recoil is slightly longer, which depending on the character who is blocking, if they have an attack that's fast enough, they could do a counter attack after that. And then there's the strong attack, which has the longest recoil. I think I wore down his block. Like, you can't turtle for too long, otherwise it'll break your block. But you can see how when Haomaru hits it, he's like, whoa, he's like backing up like that. See, that's how you can create an opening. If you bang away at their health or at their block long enough, you can do that. So it's one of these games where you don't really want to rely too much on your heavy attacks, as a lot of people tend to do, because it's going to put you like in a bad position. Hey Gabriel, which weapons has the thickest recoil? Well, Haomaru's heart attack is probably the one with the strongest, biggest recoil, but he also is, you know, known for that attack doing a lot of damage. So if it hits, it's gonna do a lot of damage. So that's the thing about this game that I really dig. I think that people who are like, you know, pretty decent at fighting games, like they know how to input special moves, could get into this, because it's not like you have to memorize long string combos. It doesn't have Roman cancels. It doesn't do any of that stuff. But it does have a decent amount of depth when it comes to essentially its strategy. And that's what it comes down to. Okay? There is also overhead. So this is my overhead with Haomaru. I think that's what it is. Yeah. With him, it's like a punch, right? But it's an overhead attack. And what else is there? There's oh yeah, the grab, right. So this game doesn't have throws in the sense that they do damage. This game has the throws are essentially a push that you use to create an opening. Like that, okay? So you can push a guy and then get a hit in, and if you push the opposite direction, wait, is it this way? Yeah. If we do it this way, then it's even longer, okay? But not quite long enough for Haomaru to get his big hit in. So, you see how Ukyo is kind of red? He's got that glowing red outline. That's telling you that his guard is low, so he's not going to be able to block the next attack. So what you want to do, this doesn't do damage, but what you want to do is you want to use it to, and a lot of people like to do this. See, that didn't work either because it's not fast enough. So maybe I can, wait, how do I do that? There. Oh, there it is. Okay. I don't play, Haomaru's not my main, actually. You can see that he's worn down. The other thing is, let me see if I remember how to do this because I haven't played this in a while. The rage meter, when it's full, you do more damage. Okay, do a 20-hit hyper combo. That's not what this game is. When the rage meter is full, you do more damage, but you also have access to something called a weapon flip technique, which is basically like a super attack. Right, like that. Now, of course, he blocked it, but as long as your rage meter is full, you can just keep doing it until, like, it hits. Maybe I can try to break his block and see. You can even cancel into it, and then it drops his weapon. See? So another thing that makes this game cool is that there's running. There's a run mechanic, and when you're running, you can know running's attack, and it's unique. So that's a light attack, that's a medium attack. Let me just do it from far away so you guys can see it, and a heavy attack. There's like an anti-air as well. Okay. And there's a running kick, which is like a slide, I think. Yeah. Like his slide kick. Anyone remember the 7th gen 3D Samurai Shodown? Yeah. Worn down, the dude is dying. Yeah, I do. It was, that's what they had the model for Haomaru and Nakoruru in this game as a throwback, I believe, to that game. But anyway, so there's also something called, let me make it to where he can't block. There's also something called a super special move. I know. Let me just stand and turn off guard here. There's also something called a super special move. Let me see if I remember how to do it. That's not it. That's just my special attack. Oh. There it is. Now you can see how much damage that does. It does a lot of damage, but here's the thing about the super special move. One, it has an extremely long wind-up. Sometimes it has a few frames of invincibility, which means it could be used to go through some attacks, but it's extremely unlikely to just hit if you just do it, like, on your own, right? So, and in different characters, it works different ways for different characters. But it has a really long wind-up, and you can only do it once per match. So, like, you can do it once, and then you can't do it again. And if it fails, it fails. So then you're just out, okay? So you have to make sure that you do it at the right time. Now, one of the things that's cool... No, that one doesn't remove the rage. That one is just the super special move that works once. The one that removes the ability you're thinking about is the thing I was just going to mention next. So, is it this one? Yeah, this right here. Forget what they call it, but basically you enter this state, and for the period that's going on, basically your damage is improved. You immediately go into rage, and you can do unlimited weapon flip techniques. But that's one of those things that if you use that, then you lose your rage meter for the whole match as well. So there you have two abilities you can use once in the whole match. One is your super special move, which is like your super secret technique. And the other is this burst right here, which once this goes away, you don't have rage meter for the rest of the game. So this is something you don't use lightly, okay? But one thing you can do while this is active is, first of all, you can do this as many times as you want. Well, it went away when I did that. And you have another thing you can do is this attack, which is extremely fast. And that's like basically once you do this, like the other player has to be on their guard, because if they whiff anything, like even if they start to do something, you can just go right into this because it comes out really fast and every character can do it. So this is a game where, you know, you are constantly watching the other person, because I'm not going to say it's the same because I know a lot of people really love Bushido Blade, but you know how Bushido Blade on the PlayStation 1 had this thing where you didn't know if the next hit was going to kill you. This is kind of like that, right? Except that this shows you health bars, but the damage is so high, you know, the damage is so high that it's like it's a really risky proposition. So those are the basics of Samurai Shodown. Okay, so I'm going to end training and go into, I don't know what modes there are. I'm not going to play the arcade mode because you know, it just goes for a while. Maybe there's like an arcade that's sort of battle. What's this? Versus Gauntlet, time trial. As in the allotted time, survival mode, Gauntlet. I guess Gauntlet's like is another sort of arcade mode. There is something, isn't there like a ghost battle, I think? Oh yeah, ghost match. Iron Man challenge, where you take on 100 CPU ghosts in a row. So the ghosts are supposedly like based on the play style of other players. So it's like you're fighting other players but not live. I'm not sure how good that is, but I could try it out. So I'll show you what characters are in the game. Yeah, the boss at the end of the arcade is a bitch. Yeah, but you know what? Just like it's another one of those bosses that's more annoying than anything, because once you know what you have to do, like I've beaten the boss with every character because the boss has the same sort of predictable patterns of behavior, and it's just that her moves are completely broken. Not my favorite Samurai Shodown boss. I think that of all the Samurai Shodown bosses, my favorite one is Mizuki from Samurai Shodown 2. So Amaxashiro is a good boss. He's the boss of the original, and he's sort of like a staple of the series. Like he's in a lot of the games. But Mizuki, I think her name is Kafuin Mizuki, is my favorite. Like a shrine maiden with like a demonic dog sidekick, and the boss music for her is awesome. It's a shame she's not in this game. But okay, what's this? Pickup. What's that? Ranking, save ghost, my ghost. Let me see. What is this? I don't even know what this is. All right, so here are some players that are pretty good. Let me maybe not ghost match. Let's try battle. I guess survival. Let me try that. That's fine. I just want to show the characters off. Ghostface Killer match. All right, so I got all the DLC for this, which came out over like a couple of years, I think, at least like a year or so. Okay, so we got Haomaru, who's basically like, you know, the title character, the poster boy of Samurai Shodown, who is also, by the way, a guest character on Soul Calibur 6, which I will be probably playing next week, if not tomorrow. Just because since we're doing the weapon-based games, I might as well do Soul Calibur. Nakoru, who's also one of the staple characters of the game. And I don't, you know, I'm not sure if she's supposed to be a ninja or like a maiden of some kind. because she has a you know, a tanto, that's her weapon, but she's like, you know, talking to the animals and shit. I don't know, but I'm just not sure about what the archetype is. If I remember correctly, the main villain is a historical Japanese man who led a failed Christian uprising. I think he was executed. Yeah, Amaksashiro. Yeah, I think there are. Actually, you know what? Let me talk to Chun-Li here. Hold on a second. Hey, I want to ask you, do you know if any characters from the video game series Samurai Shodown are based on actual historical figures, and who are they? I know one of them. Literally, there's a guy named Andrew, based on Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, there are a few. Hanzo Hattori was a real ninja, and there's a character based on Oda Nobunaga, a pretty notorious warlord. Plus, there's also one named after the 47 Ronin. So, yeah, some legit historical figures in there.
Yeah, and also, yeah,
Oh
so
yeah,
there's like...
and get this. The newest game in the series is a total reboot, set between Samurai Shodown 5 and the original. It's all about weapon-based combat and some dark shit threatening Japan.
Yeah, Nobunaga is one of the characters too. He's got like a big old like spear or something, I think. But I know that was gonna say, yeah, there's a character with a musket, and it's Andrew Jackson, and I'm like, dude, there's a game that I just learned about called Samurai Shodown 6, which came out. It was the game before this game, and it was still on the 2D graphics, but apparently you can play it on Fightcade, and it's like the ultimate Samurai Shodown game in terms of like, it's sort of like, if you guys remember like Street Fighter Alpha 3, like the version that came out on the PSP had like a ton of characters, or I think it was Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which basically had like an Ultimate Mortal Kombat, I think, which had like every Mortal Kombat character in it. This Samurai Shodown 6 has every Samurai Shodown ever, including like boss characters that were not playable before, and they're all in it. So I might have to check that one out. So Charlotte is my main. Colonization for the win. Yeah, but I'm definitely gonna have to check out Andrew Jackson, because that's fucking awesome. Anyway, Nakoru fights with Hawk. This is one of the new characters, Yashamaru Kurama. Yashamaru, or Yashamaru is how you say it, I guess. And he's like another ninja character. He fights with a what is it? It's a Nagamaki, I think, which is like a sword with an extra long hilt, and he's got a lot of like aerial moves. He's very much like an edgy boy. Tam Tam, which I'm glad to see come back. Great character. Yagyu Jubei, who's my main. I main Yagyu Jubei. And I believe that he's based on a real person as well. Kyoshiro Senryo, the Kabuki guy with the Naginata. Ukyo Tachibana, who I also play sometimes. Galford, the American Ninja. I think literally based on the movie American Ninja. Hattori Hanzo, very cool. Kibagami Genjuro, I play him too sometimes. He's basically like the foil to Haomaru that came out in Samurai Shodown 2. And as my friends like to call him, the back. Earthquake, which is this character, this is what I mean, like when I said SNK really came up with Samurai Shodown when they like rose up, because they had really great designs, and I thought Earthquake, the fucking fat pirate ninja from Texas that can do all the ninja shit, he teleports, he wall jumps, he's like surprisingly agile despite being the biggest character in the game. That's amazing. I love this character design wise. I think it's a great concept. And why does he have kiss makeup? I don't know. To hide his identity, I guess. Shiki, who I think came out in one of the later ones, and she's a pretty interesting character. Yoshitora Tokugawa, who is likely again based on an actual historical figure, and he's got like 5 swords or something, and I think he has 1 sword for each one of his kids. 6 swords. Yeah, he has like 6 swords. He's got 4 on his back, 1 at his side, and a really big one, which I think they call the big great swords in Japan. I think they call them nodachis, so it's like a nodachi. Charlotte, who is another really great character. and she hasn't changed. Like, this is what some of these characters are so like perfect, they don't even change them very much. So Charlotte's great. Darlie Dagger, who's the pirate character with the sawtooth sword. I think that this character likely came out because of the popularity of One Piece. I noticed that SNK responds to that stuff. So One Piece was popular and they made this character, and then they also made a character named B. Janae or B. Jeanette or something for there was a Mark of the Wolves, who was also like a pirate character. So I think that's because of the popularity of One Piece is my feeling of it. Ru, her name is Ru Xinjiang or something like that. And she's interesting. She's a zoner that uses traps and fights with a shield. And if you like to play defensive, she's pretty good in that regard. I mess around with her a little bit. Okay, then we got Rimuru, who's like Nakoru, but fights with like an ice water spirit instead of a bird. Not like my cup of tea, but you know, she came out in like Samurai Shodown 3 or something like that. Oh yeah, this guy, Basara, also a very cool character. A lot of people love this guy. He's like, you know what he reminds me of? If you guys have ever seen the anime Ninja Scroll, I totally think that he was taken from that. Or I think it was in Japan, it's called Wind Ninja Chronicles. And it was a Madhouse anime movie, fucking awesome. And there was a guy who like moved in shadows. Pretty sure that's what this guy was based on. Then you have like the twins from Samurai Shodown 3, Kazuki Kazama and his brother, Sogetsu Kazama. So this guy uses fire and this guy uses water. They're okay. I think that like some of the later ideas were a little weaker in my opinion. You know, fire guy, water guy. Whoa, how interesting. But and I mean they play kind of similar. I think this guy's more defensive and this guy's more offensive, but not much different outside of that. Wanfu, who is basically another guy that's been there from the beginning. I kind of miss that he used to fight with a big like, you know, Chinese saber, like a big curved sword. But now he fights with a giant pillar, and I think he's been fighting with a pillar for a while. I think ever since the second game, actually. They probably thought that Wanfu was kind of boring, and they wanted to spice it up, so they gave him a pillar. And I like that they made it like, apparently it's a pillar from some Chinese temple, which, okay, I'll bite. The only problem is, this is my one issue, okay? The characters that use blunt weapons in this game, they need to like find a way to make their kills look more dramatic, because the one of the things that's really neat about Samurai Shodown is some of the deaths, like you can cut guys in half, you can like, you know, cut them and make a bunch of blood come out, but you can't do that if you're using a pillar or a shield, you know, or a gong. I think it's like a gong that the Chinese girl uses. So that's, they should do something else. I don't know, show an x-ray of a skull getting cracked open, you know, show a twisted limb. I don't know, something, you know, there needs to be something else. But if they can do that, I think they can make these characters appealing. Shizumaru Hisame, who I always thought he was reminiscent of a character from an anime called Ranma 1/2 named Ryoga Hibiki, and because he fought with an umbrella. And this guy fights with an umbrella and a sword. I think it's like his father's sword or something, but I don't really know the story. But he's a pretty neat character. I kind of like him. He's like a child. This is definitely Shota bait for the women on Tumblr out there. Mina Majikina fights with a bow, and she also has a little spirit with her, a little critter of some kind. Interesting character, definitely a zoner if you want to like really lead into the zoning thing. You can totally cut someone in half with a pillar, you're just not trying hard enough. The bow on her, yeah, she's got a big bow in her hair and she fights with a bow. So yeah, definitely a ranged character, not my cup of tea, but I think that like if you're gonna lean all the way into it, that's cool. Iroha, so this one is, I think this is definitely like gooner bait, if anything. She looks like, I'm not even sure what her story is, but she looks like a maid that fights, and she breaks the fourth wall. She like talks to the player and you know, is like a loving wife or something, wife and maid and servant. She's, I don't know, man. This one, Iroha is an interesting one. Definitely got a fan base. She fights with a couple of giant cleavers. I'm not even sure, like, if this is based in anything. She looks a bit much. Yeah, she is a bit much. But you know what? It's fine. Fan service. I will applaud them. She certainly isn't censored. I think this is like what the character looks like. So, and always had. Okay. Amaxashiro Tokisada, another character I like to play. Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! That's like his thing. And yeah, so they made him available as DLC later. They kept hinting at him like in the when you beat the game. But they made him playable, and I think he's great. He's like basically he's a wizard. He fights with an orb, and it's again a very interesting concept. OG character, do not goon. She's a literal crane. I see. That's what it is. It's a crane. Okay. And then we have some a guest character. Hibiki Takane is from another weapon-based fighting game called oh shit, why am I she was in Capcom vs SNK 2 as well. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I actually was going to play that one as a feature game. Last Blade and Last Blade 2. But I think she was in Last Blade 2, not Last Blade 1. And she is in this, and it's a perfect fit. I mean, like, I think people wanted a Last Blade Samurai Shodown crossover ever since Last Blade came out. And I don't see, I mean, SNK literally owns the rights to both. So there you go. Hibiki Takane is pretty dope in this one. Cham Cham, who was the replacement for Tam Tam in Samurai Shodown 2, has also made a comeback. And you know, you need somebody like this in a fighting game. You need like that cute, annoying, like lolly character, I guess. So there it is. She has a giant boomerang that she throws, and I don't have a problem with this character. I think she's actually kind of neat. So it's a good design again, and that's the stuff that I'm attracted to. All right, this is a bonus character I don't quite get. It's a Gongsun Lee, and it's from another game series, a Chinese game of some kind. I can't remember the name of it, but she is a carryover from that and a guest character. She fights with an umbrella, and I think she has like a bunch of magic. She's also got rabbit ears for some reason, inexplicably. I can't remember the Chinese game that she's from, but I only know her from this, so. And again, not a bad character, fine, you know. And then we have another guest character. This one is a really good fit. This character's name is Warden, and he is from the game For Honor, which was an online sort of medieval multiplayer game where you played knights and samurai and various like other types of soldiers from history. A really cool idea in my opinion. And I do play some Warden because I got to get my Deus Vult on. He's got crosses on his helmet. He's pretty dope, and fights with a great sword. And it's like, why isn't there a character like that in Samurai Shodown? So so yeah, Warden from For Honor, pretty cool. And then lastly, you have another character that's a pretty good fit. Baiken from Guilty Gear is a playable character. So it's a really interesting mix of characters from other games and franchises. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play. I know Jubei is my main, but I haven't played him in a long time. So I'm gonna play Ukyo Tachibana, or maybe you guys want to see a certain character. I don't know. I can't play them all. I've tried. I mean, I have played all of them because I beat the game with all of them. But I'm certainly better with some than others. So pick Baiken and only Baiken. You could try Baiken. This is around the time that Xrd, I think it was Rev 2 was out, and Baiken was in that game. And of course, everybody wanted Baiken in other games. So this is like, when it comes to guest characters, this game's pretty solid. I'm gonna look at my moves because I don't remember how to do it. Anything. So, all right. Special skill. These are command normals. Light slash. Special skill 2. In the air, medium and heavy. Oh, she can combo that. Medium slash near or advancing medium slash. So she's got Gatling combos like in Guilty Gear. Well, that's busted. Maybe. Special moves. Crescent Moon Slash. Okay. Renting Tremor Slash. Step Forward. Cyclone Slash. Fake Cyclone Slash. Earthquake Slice. Pretty simple. Command moves. Down and kick. Forward and kick. Wall jump. She can wall jump. She can double jump too. Okay. No, she can't. That was Galford. Woo! Oh shit. Okay. I'm just checking. Your bot is committing Jewish sexual harassment. And I don't get that. I don't know why that's happening. She just walked off. Damn. Alright, it's loading the next match. Remember when Guilty Gear was good? Well, that's the only... that's all I know, man. Woo! Okay, bitch. Cut him in half. Look at her. That's a mommy right there. You see her walk? Look at her walk. She knows she's got it. Oh, okay. Hold on. Oof. I'm just gonna skip the love the guy with the flags. Yeah. The Galford can still do shit, so yank his ass. Just go Sung Lee. You left your shit over there, bub. See, like when you're doing survival mode, the first few matches are really, really easy. Oh shit! What's up, big man? Oh! That's the yeah. Earthquake is like.
勝者バイケン。いざ尋常に勝負。
Let me look at her commands again. Medium hard, medium slash near, or advancing medium slash hard slash, jumping medium slash. Okay. Oh, you bitch. Ah, okay, that does work. Okay, cool. Master Goa, I love Baiken. Baiken was actually the hidden boss in the original GG. Yes, she was. Get cut, bitch. Oh! So Baiken has a little bit of a combo. Basically, I can connect two attacks together, which in Samurai Shodown is a lot. So she went from boss to a nobody? I don't know about that. Senryu Kyojiro! Oh god, he does so much damage! Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. May as well. Yeah, she's popular. I mean, maybe like not in the lore of. Oh, fighting myself. Oh, I got my bar back. That's cool. I was wondering if that was gonna work. Oh shit. Oh, I'm dead. That's okay. Baiken getting killed by Baiken is fine. Okay. So I'll do another one with a different character. Any other suggestions? Or maybe I could do Gauntlet, or just versus. Let me see what there are versus CPU in here. Yeah, so like here's the DLC Retro 3D Haomaru costume. That's the one from I think it's the one 3D Samurai Shodown that came up before. You want me to play the 4 armor? Oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. Sounds all badass in Japanese too. Trying to find like a good level. Hall of Minerva, that's Charlotte's stage. He's always had some of the best stages. Kabuki Theater, Dojo, Genryu Island, that's cool. Or Gairyu. Deus Vult these heathens. I gotta look at his moves list because I don't remember. Alright, let's look. Warden. Right, so he's got combos too. Crushing counter strike, when you're close, medium slash, then another medium slash, then another medium slash or a kick. Guardian's Assault. So he's got a bunch of combos up close. So medium slash, medium slash. Special moves, he's got a parry. Okay. Shoulder bash can be charged. Okay. Weapon flipping. Okay, super specials. Alright. Seems pretty straightforward. Oh, motherfucker. The grab is like really bad on miss, so you have to be careful.
Holy SHOUBU! Look at all this
What? Oh.
Holy! Look at all this damage!
I claim this in the name of God. You will be converted. On my name as a warden, I vow to protect the people. Failure is not an option. I will not bend the knee. Never apologize. No standing army can defeat any army that has the cross. God wills it! Alright. You want me to like play somebody different, or do you want to see more Warden? I didn't do that well with him before, but... Or I could do a different mode with Warden instead. Let's try the time trial, I guess. I don't know what this is, so we'll see.
オーデン、この戦いに勝利を。
So yeah, I mean, like, this Samurai Shodown game is quite solid. You know, I've been thinking about all the fighting games I've been playing this month.
勝負。 勝者オーデン、この地の民は私が守る。
Put it right in our ass. Take that, China. He can charge his charge as
い
well.
ざ尋常に勝負。
Let me see. And it powers through things. That's right. So that's
行くぞ。 逃がさんよ。
my parry.
勝者オーデン、その魂に安らぎがあらんことを。 いざ尋常に勝負。
Shiki. Okay.
逃がさん。
捕まえられそう。
勝者オーデン。
Oof. Shiki is kind of a strange character, but my chivalry. Yeah, right.
いざ尋常に勝負。
Iroha. I will not be tempted by you. Succubus.
逃がさんよ。か。 勝者オーデン、この地の民は私が守る。
I'm just making her look at it. You should feel bad.
いざ尋常に勝負。
Oh, the fucking French.
逃がさん。はいはい。どれや。
This is the thing about counters, right? Like, you have to anticipate it, and the computer, they don't usually take the bait, so unless there's a way to bait it out of the CPU, I'm not gonna really see a lot of counters.
いざ尋常に勝負。受けてみろ。
Put that shit down.
逃がさん。 気が足りるわ。
I didn't mean to do that. Hopefully I have my bar.
魂に安らぎがあらんことを。
The throw button is also set to R2.
いざ尋常に勝負。
Empty. Oh yeah, it is. Oh, okay. I was like, why didn't that work? Because she.
行くぞ。行くぞ。愚かな。 勝者ウォーデンこの地の民は私が守る
Wait, where did that flag come from? This will be women without male guidance. Cat Girl looks like she's from a different series. She was in Samurai Shodown 2. She was in from almost the beginning. They got rid of Tam Tam and they replaced him with Cham Cham, and then they brought Tam Tam back. Okay, alright, alright. This guy's committed. Do I even have kicks? I do. I should start wearing armor over there. This is probably the best. I never played For Honor. I think it was free for a little while. But from what I can tell, this is like the best use of that IP. Put that shit down, bitch. I know what you're trying to do. I'm not giving you a chance. You have to rush this woman down. Nakoru will be like just all over the fucking place. You don't take her out right away.
JINJOU SHOUBU
That fat ass in half. So you know the blade is sharp. Having him having armor and chamo makes him pretty much immune to katana damage. Oh, this guy. Oop. Get cut. Ah, shit. Did I need this? Oh, you motherfucker. You're gonna, like, not let me have that. I guess I can do anything without it. Yeah. Okay, he beat me. I shouldn't have jumped. I should have just blocked it, but I was like... I was worried about the chip damage, I guess. Alright, I got through 10 characters. I'll play somebody else. Okay, who else should I use? Who do you want to see? Use sorcery. Time trial seems to be a decent way to like play the game. Ukyo, Charlotte, Jubei, Kinjuro, one of these guest characters, Cham Cham, Hibiki, Amaxa, Shiro, Tokisada. At least you didn't fall to the big fedora man. All right, I'm gonna play Genjuro, I think. Did I lose people? Okay. Martha Shiro. The frog.
いざ尋常に勝負
Oh. Genjuro is Samurai Gambit throwing out playing cards. I'm gonna make my name for myself here. Oh, man, I dodged that shit. Little frog, little frog. Bitch stood there like she's AFK. I know. So you can combo into middle attacks, can combo into specials usually. Like this. Got a perfect. Guys throwing confetti. Oh, let's go, nigga. I think I'm gonna go fighting this time attack thing. The characters are a little too dumb, so they're not really fighting back. That's why it would be better if I could just fight against someone. Viki Basara. Can I change the number of rounds? Maybe I can do that. No, I don't think I can. I would like to make it a little bit like maybe like best out of 5, but it's okay. Who was I gonna fight last time? Basara? I'll just do that. She learned her fight style from Joe Biden. Oh, let's do the where's the this one. Mikatagahara. I think that was a famous battle that took place there, like from the feudal period. But also, like the field is a very popular location. It's like a pretty popular stage for you know, Japanese like video games.
僕のために死にに来てくれたんだね。騎馬神源十郎 VS 首切りバサラ。いざ尋常に一本目勝負。3つ。攻撃。死ね。どれや。さあ行くよ。
Shit. Oh, nice one. Okay. Dude, that guy does a lot of damage. Hold up. I like when he does his dragon punch, there's like for some reason there's like an ink print of a woman in there. I don't know if that's like from his backstory or something, but oh my goodness. Oh, okay, nigga, okay. He tried to put the paint on.
死んだ奴に一体何ができるクズが役者が俺の前にしゃしゃり出るな
Genjuro's a fucking beast. Genju swole. Alright, let's do character select. I guess random CPU means I keep the same character, but they change the opponent. Let's do Hattori Hanzo. And I will fight against the good matchup for Hanzo. So, do you guys hear about do you guys hear about what Trump did in the White House with the South African president? And how the South African government responded to that visit? You guys know about that? I did. It's hellacious. I assume you meant to say hilarious. Master Goa says it was great. I heard about what Trump did, but not the response. Does anybody know? I know what the response from, like, so when they... Hold on.
Hattori Hanzo VS 柳生十兵衛いざ尋常に一本目勝負
All right, so here's the thing about Hattori Hanzo is he's all about the mind games because he teleports, he does a bunch of ninja shit, and it's all about the mind games and deception. But that is kind of a moot point against the CPU that knows what you're doing. So it doesn't always translate well. Now that I picked him, I realize this. But it's okay. Like, but against other people, I can see how Hanzo could be a blast to play because you're like constantly getting their face. He put their lies on display. I heard they claim it's false. Does anyone... I'm going to give you guys a chance, a little bit of time to respond before I give you what I learned about it and what that means, in my opinion. Specifically, South Africa's response to Trump essentially like pulling some Yu-Gi-Oh shit on them. You know, you activated my trap card. But I'll wait until yeah, he's got a wall jump, the fireball, strike dash, whistling strike drop, which is the Izuna drop. Oh, let me ask Chun-Li another question. Hey, you're familiar with the Izuna drop, which is a kind of trademark attack used by ninja characters in fighting games. What's the origin of the Izuna drop? Okay.
Oh man, the Izuna drop. That shit's classic. It's named after Izuna Okayamida's famous ninja from Japanese folklore who could teleport. It's like the ultimate ninja move. Gotta love it.
I didn't know that.
Actually, I just did a quick lookup, and apparently the Izuna drop first showed up in this old manga called Kamule Gaiden way back in 1969, before it became a staple in fighting games.
So it was from a comic book. I knew it was from a manga. I just couldn't remember which one. Didn't South Africa accuse Trump of lying despite video evidence? Yeah, yes, yes, they did. I heard Ramaphosa was talking shit about Trump before the White House thing, before he went there. Yeah. So I'll tell you real quick, what happened. Just, falling ninja, cicada larva, gashing ninja, cicada larva, self-sacrifice stratagem of Buddha. Look at that shit. Oh, yeah. This is like if you get hit, you can teleport. Ninja wind splitter. Okay. Take that, bitch.
2本目勝負爆炎に熱風手裏剣熱風手裏剣技術とさせぬ行くぞコアッパ
Dude, I didn't know how I did that. You're dead. So here's what happened, okay? So Trump, they go out to the White House. They're doing a bunch of, fucking diplomatic shit. And then Trump brings up the South African farmer stuff that he basically starts off kind of like playing dumb, like, oh, I heard you guys have this problem in South Africa, and he's basically giving the president of South Africa the chance to tell the truth, to come clean, right? Like, is he gonna share? He wants to know, like, how in on this are you? But you can't just ask them. So what you got to do is you got to basically give them the chance to tell you the truth, because maybe he knows and he's trying to do something about it. Maybe he doesn't know and you're bringing this to his attention. Like, it's possible, right? And the guy goes, something about like, oh, well, if you want to know what's going on, just talk to actual South Africans. We're right here. And basically playing like that nothing is happening. There's nothing to see here. And then Trump says, well, let's take a look. And of course, the media is on his ass and he's just like ignoring them. They're trying to distract. They're trying to talk about the plane that Qatar got him instead of like what's going on in South Africa, because obviously he's like emigrating the South African farmers here, and everyone in the cathedral and Project Mockingbird, they're all losing their minds over it because it's shattering their narrative wide open. he sits them all down. He says, "Oh, I got a video. Let's look at the video." And he like darkens the room and turns on the video and plays like a fucking montage of this communist party. And basically, there's like a number of parties because like that's what the president says. Well, you know, it's a democracy, right? Like he almost tried to do like this underhanded kind of, well, unlike your country, we're a democracy because we have all these parties. And he's saying we got all these parties, but like almost all those parties are leftist parties. So there's really not there's not a variety of parties. You're just naming, it's just like what the commies do when they're debating people and you call them commies and go, "Oh, I'm not a communist. I'm a democratic socialist. I'm a social democrat," which is different from a democratic socialist. I'm a Maoist. I'm a Stalinist. I'm a tanky. I'm a fucking Leninist. Like they just, it's all bullshit. Like they're all the same. They just have little disagreements about how much redistribution they want. And how many, their idea of genocide differs between like Stalin, Lenin, Pol Pot, and Mao, but it's ultimately like, you know, all the same shit. And so the guy is like, "Oh, well, you know, there's lots of parties because that's what a democracy is, right, guys?" But this one party, the one that's like openly saying "kill the poor, the farmer," right? Brrr, ha, like that guy. That's like just the party that's showing the truth, but that doesn't mean that the other parties are not aligned, because they're at least aligned enough to not say anything about it. They're just staying quiet. It's like they engage in stochastic terrorism over there when they basically convince the population, the black population of South Africa, that the white people are the problem, and all you gotta do is wait. And when white farmers get murdered and families are killed and their lands are taken from them, you can say, "Well, I didn't tell them to do that. I'm against violence, guys. I'm against it, like in principle." But you're not saying anything. So Trump makes them watch it. And of course they look, I joked with my wife, when we first saw it, I was like, "Man, I bet the plane flight back to South Africa was really fucking quiet." Like they were just sitting there like, "Oh shit, like what are we gonna say?" And and all that was amazing. Like everybody saw it. You know, the media is gonna try to spin this shit. Of course, that's what they do. And I hope people don't fall for it, but they might, because you know, people are fucking. It's not just that they're stupid. It's that they don't really want to know the truth. That's the real problem. It's not that they're stupid. It's that they don't want to hear that they've been lied to. They hate the idea that they have been lied to and that they fell for it so much that they'll do anything to like not accept it, right? So this is the problem with like changing people's minds, is their pride. They're so ego invested in their lies because the truth would make them feel like they don't know everything, and everybody wants to feel like they know everything. So, well, how does South Africa respond? Well, there could have been a number of ways they could have done it. They could have said, "Okay, well, you can have the farmers." They could have said, "Oh, well, we'll give them their land back and you know, like make this right. We'll work with America. We'll work with whoever, right?" And one of the things is that one of the reasons why they were there was because Trump was saying, you know, he's looking at budgets and he's like, "Well, why are we giving you guys money?" Right? And of course, they want our money, so. It would even if in a purely pragmatic sense, they could have done that, but they didn't. What they did was they made it illegal in South Africa for you to talk about the farmers. That's what they did. So they essentially, you know, there's like a Snowden quote that Snowden did when he says, "When criminals make it illegal for you to report crime." Oh no, when the government makes it illegal for you to report crimes, the government are the criminals, something like that. And the average person has the mind of a domestic animal. No, I think that people are not stupid. They're just really insecure, and they don't want to like look stupid, so they'll do anything. You know, I want to see what this does. So basically they're just making it, globalist politics is just a question of how left are you. Yes. Shit, this bitch. I hate that move. I'm glad Trump took it to the president of South Africa. Carl asked on X if there aren't any South Africans against one. If there aren't any South Africans against what's going on, I replied saying they'd be buried under voices of supporters. Yes. Gabriel says Rhodesia all over again. Yeah, and we're never gonna. Are we gonna learn from it, or are we just gonna keep blaming white people for everything? It's like, it really kind of pisses me off that there are people who are so like committed to, and like, and that the other thing too is that like what we're seeing here is like, it's like a pattern is emerging that anybody who has eyes to see and ears to hear can see. Okay, so like, you know, you got incident after incident of blacks in America just like, you know, disproportionately acting violent to white people for no reason. You know, they're like that. The Carmelo Anthony thing is not something that happened in a vacuum, and the support he has and the people on TikTok and social media that are like behind him are acting like what happened with Shiloh Hendrix is the same. It's not even close. Not even close. You know, and then you add on top of that, like the media's response to the fact that Shiloh Hendrix is getting support, then what's happening in South Africa, and what's happening in Europe. It's like getting to the point where people are just like black fatigue is real, and I'm sorry, but I understand it. I am sympathetic to it. Trump should pull all financial support. They would cave really fast, but I don't think he'll do that because he'll be called racist. Yeah. Norwegian says the problem is that the more you try to appear intelligent, the less intelligent you're going to look. Well, yeah. Ow! You cunt. Shit, man. Is okay. Just okay. Look, of all ninja characters in fighting games, the ones you can think of, and I know there's a lot. Like there's a lot of fighting games, and like almost every fighting game has a ninja in it. But which one do you think is the most iconic? Because I think it's Hanzo, and I like ninjas in a lot of fighting games. Like Guy is cool, and you know. Master Goa says, even if Trump does nothing, they'll reap what they sow because they are the only people that can't manage and farm their own land. Well, that's the thing, though. They kind of want to have their cake and eat it too, because they want the farmers to work because no one else is going to do it. They want them to toil the fields, but they want to reap the benefits. And so if the farmers leave, then yeah, they're fucked. And they should be. They deserve that. So yeah, what's your favorite ninja character in fighting games? I know I already gave ninjas a whole month for like other kinds of games, but I'd like to know what you guys think. All right, I'm gonna play Tachibana Ukkyo. And we will fight against one of these guys, I guess. Maybe this guy? Or Wanfu. Brother, this is not the way. Do you know the way? You do not know the way.
大龍島牛の国
Yoshimitsu is the most iconic to me because of over how over the top his design is. It's a good one. Yoshimitsu is a good one. Oh, that's yeah, Wanfu's music. That's cool. It's alright, just a little allergies. Just a little allergies. He's one of these characters that are dying but never dies. I'm trying to do the counter so I can Oh, well, I just did it. It's over. Time for a haiku. He ain't got time for that. Ukyo is a Sigma. Living that Sigma life. Disregard women, acquire currency. Acquire sword skills. Whites in South Africa are dumb for coming back after the last cycle. There is a repeating cycle. They kick out the whites and they starve. Well, you know, I learned, there's a channel that I watch sometimes. Senryo Kyoshiro. Senryo Kyoshiro. There's a channel that I watch. This guy he mainly talks about gaming, but he's South African. His name is, his channel's called Akalon TV. And he was giving a little bit of insight into what's going on in South Africa. And he said that the worst group of people in South Africa are not the blacks. They're the white liberals. They're the most anti-white, the most oikophobic, the most self-hating. Now, of course, this isn't surprising to me, but I shared this because, you know, a lot of the thing is what's happening as a result of everything that's going on is that race consciousness is like becoming a big thing amongst white people right now. At least not a lot, like basically mostly the online people, right? And their folly is, in my opinion, like despite their racial consciousness and everything that they're talking about, like, you know, average IQs and genetics and stuff. And there's people that are in our comments over on Honey Badger Arcade or Honey Badger Radio stuff that are bringing that up. But one thing they don't seem to get, and I keep trying to tell them this, is that your white nationalist, like, you know, bullshit is not going to work because white women are going to be the largest obstacle. Women are the obstacle. If you don't get over that, you're not going to fix shit, okay? And the white liberal women of South Africa are the worst anti-white people. So South Africa is screwed because of people who look like them, not because of the blacks, because they could just leave. I mean, they are in a minority, right? So they're not in a safe place, but the white liberals are the problem. this is just the same with the Wignats on X that are constantly like, you know, talking about the Jews and everything. And it's like, yeah, that's nice and everything that you're seeing this, but nothing's gonna change if you don't do something about your women. Like, you can forget about your pure Aryan heritage if the women are out here like sleeping with any dude that doesn't look like you because they've been conditioned to believe that that's better. And you're not changing anything until you change the women. That's just what it is, okay? Yeah, white women not having children will doom Europe. It's funny because Ramaphosa tried to brush it off by saying they have a crime problem and whites aren't the only ones being ended, but what color are those criminals even in South Africa? Yeah, no, for sure. That's the same shit they do here in the United States when we bring up the crime statistics. And they say, oh, well, white people are killing white people more than black people are. And it's like, you're because they don't want to address the issue. But anyway, yeah, the Wignats got it wrong when they keep going on and on about, because that's by the way, that's the reason why, if you notice, whenever a white woman does something edgy that the Wignats like online, they surround her like she's a queen. And what they're engaging in extreme gynocentrism, obviously, but they think that, oh, this is the white savior. This is what we need. And what they don't realize is that most of the reason why those women are successful online has nothing to do with them being white and everything to do with the fact that they're women. It's because they're women. Shiloh Hendrix made $500,000 because she's a woman, not because she's white. If a white dude had said the N-word in front of a child on a playground, he'd be in the hospital. Like that, like it's because she's a woman, and these guys don't get it. Like, and then they have like the I wouldn't say the nerve, but the audacity to think that that's a red pill thing. Like, yeah, acknowledging crime statistics and racial differences is, you know, it's reality based. But like, if you don't see that only women could get away with this shit, then you're just not paying attention. You're delusional. In fact, like, you know, when I spoke to Far From Eden yesterday, I asked her straight up. I said, "Do you think that being a woman gives you an advantage, like to being able to send this message?" She was like, "Oh, absolutely, 100%." I was like, "Yeah, obviously. Like, you're basically resistant to dismissal if you're a woman." It's the reason why I got involved with this. Like, I saw Karen's videos, and that's what got me interested. Because I was like, oh, I can't believe a woman is doing this. The fact that I would even have that enter my mind tells you how, you know, I wouldn't say brainwashed, but how conditioned we are to, you know, not take men seriously when they speak about their problems. So, the racially conscious whites, whatever you want to call it, the Nick Fuentes types and the Groypers, those guys, I mean, like, I get all of the criticisms they have about Israel and everything else, sure. But, and I mean, that's all true. I'm not denying it. But if they don't, like, they're not going to get what they want if they don't, like, do something about women. And I don't think that's going to be easy. So I hate to tell you this, Groypers, but you need MRAs to even have, like, a chance. Because, you have to address the woman problem. It's the bigger question even than the Jewish question, honestly. Because you can eliminate all Jewish influence in the United States. You know, you could do that. Let's say you did, and you would still have to deal with women. Half the population. Like, you know, it's not going to change anything. You know, Jews make up a very tiny percentage. And blacks also, right? You can just avoid those people, and you'd still have the problem of women who you have to live with. So, she must be protected at all costs nonsense. Yes. Yep, white women are not having children will doom Europe as far as ethnocentrism goes. Yes. Liberals are the problem. Everyone, you mean everywhere. Leftism is globalism. Yeah, leftism is statism and globalism. Statism ultimately is globalism. Liberalism destroys society by design to bring in the globalism. Norwegian Black Templar says, I was waiting for HBR and Far From Eden to do a stream together. Yeah, I mean, like, she's really happy to come on again sometime. I don't know, like, when, but I'll definitely have her back on. I heard George Orwell understood women were the heart of the problem. This is literally biblical. Eve ruined everything. That's a quote from 1984. Yeah. Yeah, it was the women that started it, right. Yeah, that was in 1984. Okay, anyway. Senryo Kuroshiro. See how I step back and I do the air thing? That's because like when you're in the air, when you hop back, it counts as being in the air, so you can do an air move. Although it doesn't always like that doesn't work either, it seems. Oh, you motherfucker. Okay. This is another thing that's really great about this game is it's got really good music. Oh, the frog! I forgot about that. Okay, okay. Take it. Run from the hose. Oh no, I'm done. Okay. In the lore for the game, Ukyo has his back to you because I think originally it was because he didn't want his face damaged. And that's why he fights like that. He's not blind, even though he does have a Zatoichi like style sword and his eyes are closed. Usually, but that's just because he's super chill. Norwegian says, Master Goa says it's always the women and above all the young ones who were the most bigoted adherents of the party, the swallowers of slogans, the amateur spies and nosers out of unorthodoxy. George Orwell. Yes, it's true. Well, look at what's happening now. Women are young women in particular are super far left right now, which means they support the state, which means their status. They support the party. I don't know when like people are gonna wake up to that. Norwegian Black Templar says, I've noticed that a lot of blue-pilled Christians such as Matt Walsh ignore the Bible teaches them to hold women accountable. If God thinks women should be accountable, then why don't they? Well, I mean, it's men. God. Okay, so like the Adam and Eve story, Eve's sin was being disobedient to God, right? And partaking of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because she was propagandized by the serpent to do it. But Adam also sinned, and Adam's sin was essentially there was a couple things. One was not calling out Eve when she was doing that, and the other was when God approached them and confronted them both, Adam just blamed Eve and said, well, Eve convinced me to do it. So which is essentially passing the buck. So I think what it means is that men should be holding women accountable. Men should be doing that. Now, it doesn't mean that men are responsible for women's actions, but it does mean that men should be holding women accountable for their actions. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise we fall into more sin because we let women do shit and then it sort of dooms everybody. It hurts everybody. So, women are the problem because they run on feelings? Yeah. Mao's Red Guard was led by schoolgirls. They even kickstarted the first death of the Cultural Revolution by torturing and beating to death their vice principal, Bian, of an all-girls school. Yeah, man. The leaders of Antifa. Did you guys hear about the some people went into like an Antifa hideout or stronghold or something. It was an abandoned building they didn't realize was an Antifa headquarters or former one. I haven't looked into it yet, but I understand that it's disgusting. But of course it is. This is the thing, like, these boys that are being radicalized into these groups like Antifa, it's happening because they're being abandoned by their families. Like, they're looking for a sense of belonging and meaning, and they're probably all fatherless. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd have to look at the data on that. I don't know if there's any way to gather it. And, you know, they probably were raised by single moms. And that's how they ended up in that situation. So, all right, I'm going to select, do one more, or maybe like a couple more matches, and then I'll have to end the stream. So, let's do Jubei. Where is he? This is my main, so I haven't played him in a while, but Jubei's the shit. I'll fight Galford.
Yeah, let's go.
Poppy! Carl did a good vid on BAM years ago, but YouTube yeeted most of his content. Yeah, BAM, I remember that. It's a cult, right? That was the Yvette Falarka thing, wasn't it? Before the Temple Gates, Matagahara, Hall of Minerva, Sakura of Shizuka, Green Hell, Early Summer. This is Yagu's hut, I think. One thing that is missing from this, though, that I think they should, I think it's missing from this, that was a staple of Samurai Shodown, was the destructible backgrounds. Like, you would cut, if you did a slice near something, it would cut the object. And Jubei's stage was like a bamboo forest, and there was all kinds of bamboo to cut down while you were fighting. It was just a really cool thing that they didn't, that I guess they didn't do for this game. I don't know why, but.
なるほどいざ尋常に一本目勝負
Oh shit. Okay, out there, alright.
Hey, lost my blade. Lost my blade. Overhead crash.
Overhead crush. Oh shit. Who is Jubei Yagi? Let me ask. I'm gonna ask the Chun-Li here. Hey, who is Yagyu Jubei?
Yagyu Jubei is like this super famous samurai swordsman from way back in the day. He's got like a ton of cool moves and techniques.
Does he?
Yeah, man. I just looked him up, and apparently he was like some legendary 17th century badass, son of this famous swordmaster guy, Yagyu no Minori. They say he was 20 of the greatest swordsmen ever, you know.
Oh, the dog did a fucking Izuda drop. What? Uh-oh. Okay, all right, nigga.
Hey, puppy, lost my blade.
Ah, press the wrong button. I want the counter, you know?
Lost my blade.
Stab him right in the artery. The dog better be immortal. I just looked him up, says the AI with instant access to the internet's knowledge. Yeah, right. I vaguely heard about that. Master Goa says, I vaguely heard about that, but I didn't care because I can imagine it looks like a homeless camp, but with more graffiti and Starbucks cups laying everywhere. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. He's tricksy. This guy's tricksy. Oh. One more time. Oh. Contract closed. All right. Let me see. Do one more match against a random CPU and I'll quit there. But that Samurai Shodown, I think it's just like from playing all the games I played this month. This is like one of my favorites. I'm gonna probably revisit at the end of the month to see which one left the best impression on me. Oh, Charlotte, that's cool. I wanted to fight her. One of the things that's cool about Jubei's this attack here, if you do the hard version, it'll counter the first one depending on the timing, and then the second one comes out. It's actually Jubei is very similar to Geese Howard. He has Reppuken, but it's not called that. That goes along the ground, and he has counters too, and his counters do a lot of damage. But he's not quite Geese, but yeah, that's a good command throw that she's got. Oh, you know what I wanted to do was see, wanted to show you guys Charlotte's stage, because it's like, I mean, this isn't quite the same level, but Charlotte's stage in fighting games is probably one of the best stages in fighting games. Like, it's a very cool stage. Yeah. So I'll fight her, but I'm gonna fight her on her stage. Where's Charlotte at? Where is it? Hall of Minerva. All right, here we go.
柳生がたち受けてみよう。柳生十兵衛 VS シャルロット。
See the giant painting in the background?
一本目勝負。
Super cool.
水月刀。水月刀。水月刀。水月刀。トライします。トライします。水月刀。
See, that's cool. You can't really play like a fireball game against Jubei because he can counter it with one and shoot another one. That's the purpose of it. See, when I'm doing the just defend. There we go. It's a little hard to do the timing, but it's not as hard as parrying in Street Fighter 3. Gotcha. Didn't see that coming. Charlotte looks like a medieval Samus Aran. Hi, Muazar. Awa Gradation. Disrespectfully shoving women. What are you gonna do, bitch? Go get it. Go get it. Yeah. Oh boy. She's getting real now. She's getting serious. Ooh! Oh, okay. She brought it. I'm good, Muazar. How are you? Ooh, nice. Oh, I missed it. Shit. Tired. That laugh, yeah. Iconic. Iconic laugh. Anime laugh. Alright, let's try one more match with the Warden, I guess. Kind of curious about... I think the Warden's got a cool, like, super special, and then I'll end the show. So we'll go a little over, but I got errands to run. Gotta get ready. But yeah, lots of good characters. Very well done, in my opinion. I think it's one of the more solid, definitely one of the better Samurai Shodown games. And SNK, you know, I don't know what they've been doing. Like this new, I think they got a new King of Fighters and a new Fatal Fury or Fatal Fury game. But like some of the choices they made in terms of guest characters are just like, what the hell is going on? You know? All right, who should I fight against? Who haven't we seen? The Bow Chick, Sogetsu, Rimururu. Amaxashiro. Let me ask Chun-Li one more thing. Hey, who Who is Amaksashiro Tokisada from history?
Amaksashiro Tokisada was a famous samurai from the Sengoku period, known for his loyalty and skill in battle.
That's not really enough information, but okay. Wasn't he was killed for being a Christian, which they did a lot in Japan. But the boy, I guess. New Fatal Fury just released, yeah, but like I said, I heard things about what's in it. I think I'm gonna go with ooh, I like fireworks. This is kind of cool. Cristiano Ronaldo is playable in Fatal Fury now. Nigga, what timeline is this? Yeah, what? Why? Yeah, the soccer player. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. That's just, it's just dumb. I don't know what else to say. And the musician guy, is that the guy you're talking about? No, there's another guy. He's like a DJ or something that's playable.
Warden vs 久め静まるいざ尋常に一本目勝負逃がさん演殺時愚かなそこか逃がさん行くやか逃がさんこれでどうだそこどれや行くやそこ演殺時どれや行くぞでや危ない逃がさん勝者ウォーデン己を知らねば私は倒せんぞ
June of Wrath, Nachi. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Nachi. Oh boy, dude. Oh. Well, it's alright. Give me my shit back. Oh no, we got no meter. I don't have anything now. I just have to fight him like vanilla. Oh, okay. All right. Dude, this kid is gonna kill me? What the fuck? Nope. Great sword. Reach. I think the thing is, when you get guest characters, I think characters like this in a Samurai Shodown game, that's perfect. It fits. But a fucking soccer player and a DJ, like, I'm sorry, no. Like, that doesn't, I don't, and it's like a real person. I mean, that's kind of like been going on for a little while. I think with Call of Duty games, they put like, you know, Nicki Minaj in there and other weird, like, real people. I think Fortnite has real people in it that are playable. But I think that's getting into like weird corpo brand shit that I'm not a fan of, but like guest characters that are like fan favorites or a good fit. Like, I mean, I didn't play a lot of For Honor, but I played it like once. I think it was free for a little while. But the idea of getting a For Honor, like, if you didn't tell me this was a For Honor character, I would just think it was a character that was just in there, you know, like Charlotte or anybody else. It's cool if they're based on somebody like Mike Tyson. Yeah, I mean, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is a classic game, but I think more of that has to do with the gameplay being good. And Mike Tyson is a boxer in a boxing game. But like, a soccer player is not a martial artist. a DJ is not a martial artist. That's what I'm saying. Like Mike Tyson works because he's a boxer in a game about boxing. Anyway, good to know. Still based. Oh, you're talking about Musashi Miyamoto. What would Miyamoto do? I knew he had a song with Trinidad James. It wasn't bad. And Balrog. Yeah, but like, again, Balrog was supposed to look like Mike Tyson, but it was based on, his name was actually Mike Bison in the Japanese version, but they were worried about copyright, which is why they switched all the boss names around. But even if it was, like I said, even if it was, it's like, yeah, but he's a boxer. Like it's a fit. Like he's a boxer in a boxing game, or a boxer in a fighting game that has a boxing fighting style. But like that's like putting like, I don't know, it's like, it's weird. It's like putting like someone who is alive today, famous, and in something, but the thing that they're in has nothing to do with what they're famous for. It's like having like, well, Andrew Jackson is in he's a historical figure, but he's in a Samurai Shodown game, but he has a gun. And if I remember correctly, Andrew Jackson was the guy who killed a guy in a duel or something, unless I'm mixing up with Hamilton or something. And I mean, that's pretty, like, that's funny, also kind of based, so they don't fit, yeah. But anyway, so this is Samurai Shodown. I'm gonna end it here because I gotta go. So, but thanks guys for coming on the stream and checking it out. Have you played Samurai Shodown? This is the 7th game in the series. And if you want to play like some older versions, you can probably find older Samurai Shodown games for free online, or if you're on, I think it's like. Oh, I forget what it's called, but it's like an online. I have it. It's like shit. Why am I blanking on this? It's let me see here. What is it? Yeah, here it is. It's called Fightcade. Yeah, Fightcade. So if you get Fightcade, look up Fightcade 2, and it lets you play a lot of different arcade games, and Samurai Shodown games are on there, so you can play them for free. But if you have this one, I want to know what you think. Do you like this game? Would you recommend it? I don't think it's getting any more support, which is fine, because these things are, I think that ultimately these games are meant to be played locally with friends, and that's how I'd like to play them. So, but anyway, let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. If you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notification. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think about Samurai Shodown. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Long live Vivian.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
I want people in the industry to be a little bit louder about people being mean to other people, and maybe say it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe say we don't want you around if you're going to be a cunt.
Yeah.
And hateful. And that the games industry is diverse naturally. Not because anyone's making them be diverse. Because the world is diverse, you stupid motherfucker. And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically. Bitch.
Has anyone taken you up on that yet?
No, because they're all pussies.
Yep.
Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.